Hello and welcome. Whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, I am so glad that you're here. I know that life can feel overwhelming, especially when it seems like there's always something pulling you in a million directions. But what if I told you there was a way to navigate those challenges with greater clarity and strength? And today we're actually going to explore just that. For those of you who don't know me, I'm 𝘱𝗲𝗃𝗏, and I'm a self-care strategist for high-achieving women. So if you're in the wellness space and you're a coach, a consultant, or a wellness expert, I help you explore ways to design systems that align with your values so that you can reclaim your time, your energy, and find balance, which is also known as harmony, in your personal and professional lives, all while focusing on what matters most to you. Now, a few weeks ago, we discussed self-alignment, and self-alignment is your internal compass, guiding your decisions and ensuring that your actions align with your core values and your priorities. And then last week, we discussed emotional resilience, which is your map. It gives you the strength to recover and adapt when life throws you off course. Today, what we're going to do is bring these two concepts together, and we'll explore how they complement each other to create a powerful foundation for navigating life's challenges and cultivating a balanced, fulfilling life. And as you listen in today, this is going to be an opportunity for you to explore where you are in your journey and identify actionable next steps that resonate with you. So with that being said, let's begin by briefly just revisiting the two concepts that set the stage for today's discussion. First, let's start with self-alignment. As I said before, think of self-alignment as your internal compass. It's about ensuring that your actions, your decisions, and your goals reflect your deepest values and priorities. When you're aligned, life feels more intentional, and your decision-making becomes less burdensome, and you are not second-guessing yourself. It leaves you no longer at the mercy of external expectations, but rather where you start focusing your time and your energy on what really matters. For example, a few weeks ago, we explored how misalignment can leave you feeling scattered or disconnected, even if everything looks fine on the surface. Self-alignment is about staying true to yourself so that your energy isn't drained by things that don't serve you. Now, let's add the map to that compass. That's emotional resilience. This is your ability to recover from setbacks and adapt stress without feeling overwhelmed. As we discussed last week, resilience helps you to pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. It's what allows you to maintain focus and clarity even when life feels chaotic. So when combined, self-alignment helps keep you grounded, while emotional resilience helps you weather the storm. Together, they create a dynamic balance, giving you the clarity to stay on course and the strength to keep moving forward no matter what challenges arise. Now, if you missed either of these foundational discussions, I really encourage you to check out the replays, and I'll be sure to put the links to both of those video replays in the comments after this video. These earlier conversations really provide deeper info from today's session. So I encourage you to go back and watch them and then revisit this video again after you do. So let's dive into how self-alignment and emotional resilience work together to create that powerful foundation for managing life's challenges. When you're aligned with your values, challenges feel less draining because your energy is focused on what's important right now and what truly matters to you right now, instead of constantly reacting to external demands, right? So instead of like the external demands going on around, you want to be able to look at life as a way of, okay, this is, as self-alignment and your as your compass, and emotional resilience as your map. You're looking at this, like what's going on around you, and you want to start looking like how are these things shaping my life? How are they helping my decision process, or making my decision process that much harder? So instead of like constantly reacting to those demands of your external life around you, you start to actually make intentional decisions. Basically is what I'm trying to say, that the decisions that reflect who you are and what you stand for. And this focus helps conserve your emotional energy and reduce unnecessary stress. On the other hand, emotional resilience as I was saying, alignment. That's the part of the alignment. But on the other hand, the emotional resilience map, it supports your alignment. It gives you the strength to stay grounded, even while life feels so chaotic at times. Resilience shifts from being about pushing through deadlines at the expense of your well-being, about about intentionality. Um, Sorry. It helps you to shift from pushing through your deadlines at the expense of your well-being, and to you being more intentional about like what you're doing, so that it's not, you're making sure that your well-being is important. It enables you to also take purposeful breaks throughout your day, which is important to recharge your energy. Also to have a hard stop at the end of your workday, knowing that you did your best. And when you have that hard stop, that allows you to have that hard stop. This allows, because you have clarity. You feel confident when you have a hard stop to your day because you were clear, you were focused and intentional in how you structured your day. So resilience also helps you to build in buffer time as well for hard deadlines to accommodate life's inevitable surprises, because it empowers you. Again, I always add in at least 2 weeks to any deadline, sometimes more, because it helps when life, throws curveballs things that I'm not expecting, which of course we don't know what's happening because we cannot control our days. We don't have that magic ball that we can look into and see, oh, what's happening a week from now. We're actually, going day by day. So being able to add in that buffer time is going to be really helpful, and that resilience helps you to do that. It empowers you to recover from setbacks, your emotional resilience, adapting to unexpected changes, and also to maintain your sense of self through it all. And together, the two of them create a dynamic balance. Alignment keeps you on track, and resilience helps you handle the twists and turns along the way. So let me tell you a personal story that might resonate with you. And I've shared this story before a few months ago. This is something that I had gone through a few months ago. But last September, my youngest brother passed away, and it really hit me hard. I found myself giving away all of my energy to support everyone else emotionally. My family, my mom, my remaining brother, and even my husband. We were all going through things. And I was also still trying to keep myself together and manage my business responsibilities as well. I was trying to be everything for everyone else. And in doing so, I was unknowingly, I don't know if it was unknowingly, but I was ignoring the signs, and I was depleting my own reserves. I was burning out, and I couldn't quite pinpoint why at first I was burning out. I was equating it to work when I started looking closer at my work, it's like, well, no, there's nothing really happening that's, the pressure of anything that's really, I would think, creating, this burnout phase. But then I had a breakthrough moment. I realized that my burnout wasn't from work. It was from the emotional energy I was expending from constantly absorbing the negativity and emotions around me, especially from my mom, who was going through her own pain. It was like I had my own internal canary. So when I say my mom was going through her own pain, she just lost my eldest brother a few months prior, not even a year prior to then my youngest brother passing last year in September. So it was a lot that I was taking on. I was the strong one. And if you can relate to that, knowing that you're the go-to person, people lean on you, and you're that type of person that puts yourself aside to be there for other people. This probably resonates with you because you probably have felt this at some point in your life when you've had some form of burnout. It was like also that I had my own internal canary, just like miners used to have that canary that they would take into the mines to alert them when, the air was bad, when things were dangerous. Well, my inner canary had stopped singing. That was my early warning sign that something had to change, but I wasn't listening until I had hit full-on emotional burnout. That's when I realized that I had to set boundaries, that I needed to set boundaries around my time and my energy. I also had to be open and tell others what was going on. I had to let others express their pain without it impacting me so deeply. I had to allow it to not stick, because that's what I was doing. I was allowing it to stick to me. And I also recognized that constantly giving without replenishing was not going to be sustainable. And it was at that moment I knew that to survive and thrive, I had to prioritize me. I had to set emotional boundaries around, and especially manage my energy, my time and my energy intentionally, so I could get back into an aligned state. This experience was a huge turning point for me, and it reinforced the importance of self-awareness and time and energy management. And I understood that to be my best self for others, I first needed to take care of me. And that's why I always tell anyone I talk to it, put yourself on your calendar, put self-care on your calendar first. Self is the best you can. You don't feel depleted and you don't feel like you're pouring and pouring and pouring from an empty cup until you have nothing left over. And this is so important, why I will always, advocate from the top of the rooftops to say, put self-care on your calendar first, take care of you first. That way you can show up as the best of you in every situation and you don't feel like you're depleted. So I want you to think about self-alignment and emotional resilience this way. Say you're walking through a beautifully designed maze when you're feeling overwhelmed, let's just put it as confidence, clarity, and energy. And every turn feels like it leads to a dead end. You keep running into walls, doubling back, feeling stuck and unsure which way to go. And it's frustrating, right? And tiring. And with each wrong turn, your confidence dwindles and the path out seems further away. If that was one scenario. Well, now imagine if you were fully energized instead, focused and confident in your abilities, in full self-alignment and emotionally resilient. When you feel good about yourself and you trust your intuition, every step through the maze becomes purposeful. Instead of feeling lost or overwhelmed, you move with intention, and each decision feels right, and you navigate the twists and turns with more clarity and confidence in your abilities. You begin to trust that you're going to find your way through, and the maze doesn't feel like a trap. It actually feels like an adventure and an opportunity to discover the best path forward. This is the power of pairing self-alignment with emotional resilience, because together they give you clarity, confidence, and the energy to navigate life's challenges with intention and purpose. So I want to walk you through 5 practical steps to help you strengthen both your self-alignment and emotional resilience. As I share each step, I encourage you to reflect on your experiences. These moments of reflection are for you to explore where you're at right now and how these ideas resonate with where you're at right now. So, think of it this way: building self-alignment and emotional resilience is going to take intentionality and reflection. And so my hope is that these 5 steps help guide you to explore your values, to learn about how best to manage your time and your energy, and how balanced and grounded life for you. So I also would encourage you, as you listen through, not necessarily that you have to write everything down, but to actually listen and think about it as I'm going through each step, and then go back and rewatch the video so you can pause and allow yourself to really go deeper, because I've found that the most wonderful and beautiful transformational moments come from within, and at least that has been my experience. So as I said, for now, just take a moment to let these steps sink in. And then as you listen back and reflect, think about how these apply to you. So the first step is, I believe it's really important that you not only know what your core values are, but that you live by your core values and you take time to reflect on them and how they help guide your day-to-day decisions. Your core values are the foundation of who you are. They're your compass. They guide your decisions. They influence your priorities, and they help you to stay anchored when life feels chaotic. For example, for me, during the 2016 election, I really found that there was so much ugliness going on. Friends I saw who were friends that I knew, they were bashing each other. And for me, that was such a sad thing to see. And what helped me navigate those days were my core values, which are integrity, kindness, empathy, and courage. I made a decision back then that because of my values, that I wouldn't engage in social media that didn't align with who I am and what I stand for. So that meant no commenting, no engaging, no sharing or liking of these posts. I knew that for me, that was me protecting my time and my energy, and also keep me aligned with the person that I am and who I am around your values, it can be really easy to feel pulled in a million directions, trying to meet expectations that might not even align with what really matters to you. So when you reflect on your values, it isn't just about naming them. It's really about asking whether your actions and your choices align with those values. Because when your daily life doesn't reflect your deeper priorities, it's really easy to feel disconnected, scattered, or overwhelmed. So you might ask yourself, do I feel clear about what my core values are? What do I stand for? When I make decisions, do I consider if they align with those values? And when was the last time I paused to reflect on whether my daily actions are supporting the life I want to live? If you're unsure of your core values, start small. Write down 3 things that really feel essential to you, to who you are, and use them as a guidepost when you're making decisions. Now, step 2 is to identify what or who drains and recharges your energy. We all have those energy drainers. Those could be things that we do or people in our lives. And resilience requires energy, and energy is a finite resource, which really means intentionality around where you spend your time and your energy is really essential. Another way to say that is that your energy is a precious resource, and where you direct it has a profound impact on your emotional resilience. Every day you're faced with choices, where to focus your attention, who to engage with, and which tasks to prioritize. And some of those things energize you while others deplete you. So being intentional about how you manage your energy is really going to be key to building your resilience. It's not about avoiding challenges altogether. It's more about you recognizing where your time and energy is going and ensuring that you're recharging in ways, things like what activities or people in my life give me energy and who or what drains it. Am I giving too much energy to things that don't align or to people that don't align with my values? And how can I create more space for things that recharge me? Start by identifying one area where you feel drained. And like, for example, could you shift your focus or set a boundary to protect your energy? Is there something on your calendar right now that is an energy? It's just filling time. Maybe it's something you do every week and it's really not fulfilling you. It doesn't really fulfill you anymore. Like maybe it did in the beginning, but now that things have changed and you've grown, maybe something on your calendar just doesn't fit anymore. Something small like that can help you feel more balanced and less overwhelmed, especially because our calendar can be either our friend or a foe, and we have to look at what we put on our calendars because it's what's really driving our to-do list, right? Also, if you have people in your life who are energy could be you limiting the time you spend on rehashing that something that person in your life just doesn't want to let go of, that they don't want to get past. And you give them, a time limit and say, yeah, we've talked about this before. I really don't feel like we're getting anywhere with it. And, let's just, I want to really be able to change the subject because I feel like we just are not getting past this. Sometimes people just need to be jolted out of the fact that they are rehashing something over and over again. And maybe they need your support in how to get past it. But unless they're jolted out of that same scenario over and over again that they keep rehashing, nothing's going to change for them. So that's just something I wanted to pass on. Now, step number 3, let me just check and see if you guys are okay. Step number 3 is intention. I think gratitude is such a huge part of my life, and it's not just about saying thank you. It's really a powerful tool for resilience. It's a mindset shift, as an example, that helps you focus on what's going well in your life, even during the tough times. Like you can find the gratitude even in the deep, darkest moments. It shifts your perspective and it reminds you of what's working. Even when life feels overwhelming, it can remind you of the good already happening in your life. Even the smallest of things can be a source of gratitude. Like maybe you just bought a new bed, as an example, and you had the best sleep of your life. Reminding yourself that, that we reminding yourself that we often take even the smallest of things for granted, even the everyday things for granted. Like I said, like your brand new bed that provided this awesome sleep, and you just took it for granted that you have a bed to sleep in and you got a good night's rest and you moved on. Instead, celebrate that. That's important. Anchor that in. It doesn't have to be complicated or time consuming. It can be really simple as taking a moment to appreciate a sunny day, maybe even a supportive conversation with a friend, or one where you gave support. Yes, be grateful that you were asked to give support to someone else, or even the fact that you showed up for yourself today by watching this live session with me. So you can ask yourself questions like, do I take time to acknowledge what's good in my life, even on the hard days? How might practicing gratitude help me feel more grounded and focused? Then after that, I want you to reflect on one thing you're grateful for right now. Like, think about it. When you go back through these questions and you get to this section, think about something that you can be grateful for. Again, it could be as simple as having a moment to yourself to reflect on these questions, taking the time to go through to see like where you're at in your journey. Again, gratitude doesn't have to be grand to be impactful. Step number 4 is to develop a resilience routine. Now, resilience is not built overnight. It's cultivated through time, through consistent habits that recharge your mind and your body. It's about finding small, sustainable practices that help you reset and stay grounded, even when life feels out of sorts. And it doesn't be elaborate. It could be a daily walk, a moment of mindfulness, setting aside 5 minutes to breathe deeply and recalibrate. The key really is consistency and creating space for things that nurture your energy and emotional strength. And then creating small, consistent habits to recharge your energy can help you build your emotional resilience over time. So you could ask yourself, do I have a daily or weekly habit that helps me feel grounded and recharged? How often do I create space to reset during my busy schedule? Think about a habit you could integrate into your day that feels achievable. Again, self-care is not a one-size-fits-all model. So, and also just because someone else likes to do, for example, the Miracle Morning, which I love, I think it's fantastic, and the book is incredible. But you might not have that amount of time in the morning. And maybe you don't like parts of that. Like maybe you don't like to meditate. Maybe you don't like to journal. Maybe that's not what, maybe you're not a person who likes to read as much. So thinking about a habit that you can integrate into your day that feels achievable, but also that is something that you like. Even as simple as taking a walk after your lunch. Again, journaling, if you like to journal, journaling is a great tool because it gets out of your head the things that are swirling there. Plus, one thing I love about journaling, which I'll pass on to you, is that often people look at journaling as like, oh, I have to write. Well, you can type it out, but they say like the brain to hand to paper it resonates more somehow. It hits more. I don't know. I do a lot of journaling by typing because my thoughts just come so quickly. But the reason why I find that journaling is so powerful is because a lot of the time our ideas are swirling around with our doubts and fears. And when you can take everything out of your head and put it onto paper, you can separate those doubts and fears away from the ideas and the opportunities and the things that you want to do, like you want to explore. And it allows you to see what's there so you don't feel like you have this mental clutter. So journaling like for 5 minutes each morning, getting things out of your head, what you're thinking, what planning for the day even, or simply pausing to breathe deeply during a hectic moment. Something I found really helpful was something I read in a book by Dr. Aditi Nurkar. She wrote the book, The 5 Resets, Rewire Your Brain and Body for Less Stress and More Resilience. And it's the simple exercise of stop, breathe, be. So stop is where you intentionally bring your body to a full and complete stop. You pause and you're motionless and you become aware of your stillness in the moment. Then breathe is where you take a few seconds to become aware of your breath, especially as you take in a deep breath and you let it all the way out, relaxing your body as you do this. And then finally, be is to take yourself and be present, bringing your attention to that moment in time. She uses this technique with herself and with her clients, and she says that the simple act of doing this exercise can reset your stress using the mind-body connection. So I just wanted to share that with you because I've found that it's been really helpful. She shared a couple of other breathing techniques, which are really great. The diaphragmatic breathing, as well as the 4-7-8 breathing and the heart center breathing. So these are some great breathing techniques. And for those of you who are breathwork coaches, you know what that's all about. And maybe you've also experienced. So number 5, now finally, the 5th, step 5 is to set boundaries around your time and energy. So important. Protecting your time and energy is essential for maintaining alignment and resilience. Boundaries are about creating the space that you need to honor your values and recharge your energy. And they're not about shutting people out, but really about defining what you can realistically give without depleting yourself. You know, it's impossible to keep pouring from an empty cup. Without boundaries around your time and your energy, it's very easy to feel stretched too thin, trying to be everything for everyone and leaving nothing for yourself, which ultimately leads to burnout. And most of the time, people don't even know that they're headed for burnout until they get into burnout. And then they're like scrambling to find ways to get out. Fortunately, when you find yourself in burnout, and I can speak from experience, it doesn't just snap off, turn on and turn off that easily. You need time. As I was sharing my emotional burnout experience back in May, it took me a month to get through that because I caught it in time. Even though I had hit burnout, I didn't go so deep that it had become so embedded that I wasn't able to find my way out. And plus, I have a lot of tools that I've built up over the years that have helped me. And I have a great support system that has helped me. So it's really important that you understand that burnout can be on the horizon and you're not even aware of it. You're not looking at the signs. Your inner canary could have stopped singing and you're not paying attention. And all of a sudden you find yourself hitting a dead end or hitting a brick wall. And like all of a sudden you find yourself in a burnout phase. So I'm bringing up burnout right now because I know how easy it is to step into it without even recognizing that it's on the horizon. So setting boundaries around your time and energy really will require self-awareness and practice. So I say start by identifying areas where you feel overextended right now and consider how you could just protect your time and energy. Maybe looking at your calendar. Like I said, your calendar can either be your friend or your foe. What's on your calendar that really is an energy drainer, right? Remember, saying no to what doesn't serve you is saying yes to what truly matters, and you're saying yes to your well-being. So you can ask yourself questions like, are there areas of my life where I say yes when I should be saying no? Or how can I set boundaries that honor my values and energy levels? Again, boundaries are not about shutting people out. They're about ensuring that you show up as your best self. So start by identifying one area where you can set a small but meaningful boundary today. Now, these 5 steps offer a starting point for creating alignment and resilience in your life, you know, the emotional resilience piece. So take a moment to reflect on the questions shared. And again, I encourage you to listen back to this video after you go back through and listen. If you haven't listened to the first 2 that I did a few weeks ago around self-alignment and then last week around emotional resilience, then come back and rewatch this video and then pause and go through the questions so you can really see what your habits are around protecting your time and your energy and how that lines up for you when it comes to being self-aligned and emotionally resilient. Also, I would love to know, did any of these steps or questions spark something for you? Which of these areas, you know, core values, energy management, gratitude, routines, or boundaries feels most important for you to focus on right now? I really encourage you to choose at least one step after you, as I said, once you go back through it again, choose one step. Think about how taking that small action could help you feel more aligned and emotionally resilient in your day-to-day life. So as we wrap up today's conversation, I just want to recap that alignment keeps you grounded because it's your compass, guiding your actions and your decisions to reflect on what truly matters to you. Resilience keeps you moving forward, and it's your map helping you navigate challenges and adapt to whatever life throws your way. And together they create a powerful foundation for success because when these 2 concepts work in harmony, you are better equipped to handle life's demands with clarity, strength, and intention. So take a moment to reflect on what resonated most with you today. Was it the reminder to revisit your core values? Maybe it was the set boundaries around your time and your energy, to check your calendar, see what's on there. Is it your friend or is it your foe? Perhaps it was the idea of practicing gratitude in small, meaningful ways and anchoring in those moments, you know, because when you can't be thinking about, how great things are and how terrible things are at the same time. It's just impossible to do that. If you found what I shared today helpful, share it with someone you know who you think could benefit from hearing this message, and let's keep the conversation going. Remember, alignment and resilience, they aren't just ideas, they're practices that can help you navigate twists and turns with more ease and confidence. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.